Alright, we're going to try to figure out the percentages of different numbers. So starting with a percent that's larger than 100, we have 150% of $5. Now we can never deal with a percent when it has a percent sign afterwards. We always need to change to a decimal. Change to a decimal. Well, how do we change a percent to a decimal? 150%, and we always divide it by 100. Go ahead and divide that by 100, we get that it's 1.5. Now this word of always means multiply. So we take our new decimal, 1.5, and we multiply it by $5. Finding out that 150% of $5 is $7.50. Let's try a percentage that is smaller than 1. So we have 0.1% of 1,000. Remember, we cannot deal with the percent, so we're going to change it into a decimal. 0.1% divided by 100. Okay, we find out that then it becomes 0.001. Make sure you keep all your zeros, otherwise your final answer will be incorrect. Remember, this word of always means multiply, so we take our new decimal, 0.001, we times it by the number that we want to find the percentage of. Multiply those together and find out that 0.1% of 1,000 is equal to 1. One more. Sometimes when we have fractional percents, we need to deal with the fraction before we can even change it into a decimal. So we have 1 and 1/2%. Well, 1/2 is a fraction that you should have memorized as 0.5. So we know that that is also equal to 1.5%. Now take our percent, 1.5, divide that by 100. If we divide that by 100, we find out that it is equal to 0.015. Remember that word of 0.015 times 200. Find out it gives us a total of $3. Now, if you flip the page in your note package, the next 3 questions are show you know. Pause the video here and try to do A, B, and C. Once you've completed them, check your answers online on my share site. Let's try some problem solving dealing with changing percents into decimals and then finding the percent of a number. The question says, a survey showed 1/4% of 800 students used inline skates to go to school. How many students skate to school? So we have a fractional percent again, 1/4%. This is another fraction that you should have memorized. We also know that 1/4 is equal to 0.25%. But we need that percent in a decimal. So we divide it by 100. And we find out that it is equal to 0.0025. Squish it in there. Now that we have our decimal, we multiply it by the total number that we want to find the percentage of. So we have 0.0025 times 800. We find out that only 2 students skate to school. Let's try this one. We have a fractional percent, but it's larger than 1 this time. So we take our fractional percent, 30 3/4%. Okay, we need to change that in so that we don't have the fraction anymore, so that that goes away. So we have 30, that's our whole number, decimal. 3 out of 4, another one you should have memorized, as 0.75. So we have 30.75%. Now remember, we need to get rid of the percent, so we always divide by 100. We find out that our decimal is 0.3075. There's no need to round at this point, so keep all the digits 3, 0, 7, and 5. This word of shows up again. We multiply it by our total of 400. How many students own a cell phone? 0.3075 times 400. We find out that 123 students own a cell phone. So it's very common to use calculations like this when we are doing statistics or doing surveys of certain populations. The next question is dealing with percentage of money. This time we have a percentage that is over 100%. It says you have $40.12 in a bank account. After 1 year, you will have 120% of your original amount. How much will you have? So, if we are trying to figure out what is 120% of $40.12. If it helps you to rewrite what you're trying to find like this, do it. Because then you can automatically see this of, and you know of means multiply. Well, I've got 120%. I need to change it into a decimal. So I divide it by, every single one of you should have said 100. 120 divided by 100 gives me, move the decimal, 1, 2, you get 1.2. Now, I need to take that 1.2 of means multiply of your original amount, $40.12. Find out that after 1 year, in your savings bank account, you will have $48.14. Now your answer on your calculator will come up to 48.144. Well, we don't ever write money like that. So don't ever write it with the 3 decimal places. When we're dealing with money, always make sure you only have the 2 cents decimal places. Perfect. So use these examples. The next section of your notes is the show you know. You are finding the percent of each number. The first one is larger than 100%, and the next 3 are dealing with fractional percents. If you have any questions, rewatch the video or ask Miss Kay.